Absolutely. I actually think much more than just their disbelief. It's the reality that government is like an idol. It doesn't speak, it doesn't hear, it doesn't do anything. And so increasingly, the question of state capacity is one that the Nigerian states that has been handed to the next generation, has to be handled, because the state as it currently exists must be completely rebuilt from scratch. Because the question some of us would ask is, what exactly are you struggling for? Right? This is a state that cannot even exercise the bare minimum authority of a state, which is the ability to protect its own borders. So what exactly are you struggling for, right? Why even participate in such a process as opposed to recreate it from scratch? And I think that's the path that young Nigerians are on. We recognize that the system may absolutely need to collapse before it's rebuilt, and we're preparing for that rebuild.
You operate in that tough, where young people love to be, in the tech sector. What do you think really attracts, what sense of nationalism comes to mind of the young person based on what you know and the area and the sector you operate?
I mean, 14 years ago, I made the decision to come back to Nigeria to apply my trade in tech. And the sentiment at the time remains the sentiment now, which is our belief that technology can change Nigeria. And in many ways, I think very many young people will tell you that it's been the biggest break they've had when you consider the fact that a generation that inherited free education from Awolowo has handed them absolutely nothing. No free education, no healthcare, no security, no state capacity. So all they've gotten is the internet, and at their own cost. And so it's the sense of freedom, the sense that if you work hard and you play by the rules, you can actually get something out of it, which is something that I think the country doesn't actually work by anymore, right? If you work hard and you play by the rules in Nigeria, you get slammed with a quota. You get slammed with somebody chancing you at the polls. You get slammed with Baba Sokwe. You get slammed with all sorts of other things. And the rules aren't clear anymore. So young people are basically saying, look, this is the one thing that works by the rules in Nigeria, the technology space. Nobody can interfere with it. And even if anybody interferes with it, it's very obvious to the world, as it has been with our elections, what exactly happened. And with technology and with the internet, I can actually thrive on the basis of my own merit and not on the permission of anybody else. And I think that's what's attracting young people to the sector. And I think that's a major reason why it's the sector that's rebuilding Nigeria.
Quickly, it does not look like we are hopeless as a people, talking about young generation, or the generation that we are referring to. When it comes to tech and active participation in that space, we're very active. It shows that we are promising. But when it comes to civic responsibility and those activities, it does look like things are hopeless. Is there a way of a conversion of energy from that sector to civic activity or governance?
I think there has to be points to the activity. I think young people really need to understand what the point of the activity is. Civics has been presented as a virtue, but it's not very clear to me what exactly the point is, right? And many young people, you go out, you vote, nothing changes. You sit down at your computer, you code, you can make great wealth for yourself and for your family, maybe even get a ticket out of the country. So you have to tell me what the system has designed for young people to tap into, because they don't want to waste their time.